Hi friends, this is Krish, the Urban Naxal. Today I want to talk about the state of our courts. Most people who are before courts seeking anticipatory bail or whatever, some order, some judgment in their favor, they don't dare to speak out about the courts. I'm not saying against the courts, I'm saying about the courts. It is generally considered very prudent to just keep your mouth shut, just quietly listen, don't say a word, let the judges pass whatever orders they like, let procedures take their course, let everything take its course. Don't say a word because the judge or the court can take an adverse view of things, or the opposite side lawyers can project you as speaking against the courts, and it is as if the judiciary is extremely touchy, egotistic, narcissistic, adverse to criticism, adverse to even questioning. This is the general way in which courts are projected in our country, in India. Whichever court we are talking about, from the lowest magistrate court or city civil court or any civil court, right up till the Supreme Court, the whole messaging that goes across is, boss, judges are touchy, judges are narcissistic, judges are extremely egotistic, and you must massage their ego with each and every sentence. You must bow to them, you must kowtow to them, you must address them as your lordship, and all those flowery terms must be said, begging, pleading, and so on. For this I will remain ever grateful. So the language of drafting your plea, listen to this, plea, okay? You are not reasoning with a reasoning person. You are not talking to a reasoning, judicious-minded person, human being over there on the judge's chair. You are dealing with a capricious, I'm not saying this, but all the stakeholders of the judiciary, the advocates, the clerks, the whole thing, the whole system will caution you. Litigants also, whether you are a defendant or whether you are seeking, you have gone and actually actively litigated, everybody will say this: it's capricious, they are super touchy, don't discuss them, be very careful, don't criticize anything, don't question anything, just bow, just kowtow, just say my lord, your ladyship, your lordship. Colonial era, this thing comes to mind. What comes to mind is, these are colonial era customs, but it comes to mind. Now, I'm going to share this in the context of what is happening with me right now. Okay? Now, taking a cue from this, others also, the police, the government, IAS officers, MLAs, MPs, I think to some extent they take a cue from this. And they behave like colonial era authorities. And I have seen very close friends, very dear friends, activists, address quasi-judicial authorities. Now, these are not judges. These are administrative people. These are IAS officers who are cast in the position of competent authority for taking a decision on a certain matter, and they are called quasi-judicial authorities, which means they are not judicial. They are performing a judicial function. So one simple example of that is the Information Commissioner. He is not a judge. He comes from bureaucracy most of the time. He has a bureaucratic background, a retired bureaucrat, most of the time. He is not considered a judge by the judiciary. So when you go in appeal, you are going in appeal against the decisions of a competent authority. But I have seen people, activists included, address them as lordship, milord, and so on and so forth. They will bow, they will do all those things. Because, hey, this guy, careful, he's got power, he's got enormous power. Now I'm going to discuss this in the context of my own case. And the fact of this matter is, you have to acknowledge that they do wield enormous power in their capriciousness. They do wield enormous power because they can look upon you with a kind eye, so to speak, and your work will be done. Or they can avert their eyes and look away from you and pretend not to hear you, and your work will not be done. And it's not only the judges. Their capriciousness, or the capriciousness of the system itself, the judiciary itself, is magnified by the people who are underlings of the judges, the court staff, the registry office, people who are basically sort of in an assisting capacity, upholding the fortress of the judiciary, as it were. These guys also wield enormous power. The department where the cause list is prepared, the department where orders get uploaded, the departments where the underlings of the court clerks of the judges who take orders to be signed, the guys who take dictation of the orders, all these things, all these people. It's a very capricious, very unquestionable kind of a machinery. Very dicey, very dangerous. They can have enormous consequences on your life, apart from what the judges say, apart from what the judges do, the judges themselves. And as I keep saying, it is not I who's saying they are capricious. It is not I who are saying they are egotistic and narcissistic. Many others, including retired judges, have said this, have said something to that effect. I am just giving voice to my angst and my apprehensions and my fears and my plight, my situation, in the light of all this that has already been said. It is already known, it's already acknowledged. It is acknowledged by High Court and Supreme Court judges and great social reformers and judicial reformers. There is such a thing as a judicial reform movement. There is such a thing. And Advocate Prashant Bhushan is one of the leading stalwarts of that. There are others also. What's his name? Yashwant Dave, I think. So, I forget his name, Dave. Okay, so there are judiciary reformers who have reckoned with the fact, who have seen this. Nevertheless, the judiciary reform movement itself remains moribund. It struggles along, it moves along like a slug. It does not have an effective movement. It does not have a voice, it does not have a face. And it does not have popular support, I'm sorry to say. It does not have popular support because litigants, who are the worst sufferers of this capriciousness, are most likely to remain silent because they say, let my case get over. There is a lot that I have to say, but let my case get over. Let me not speak. Let me remain silent. because in case the judge gets pissed off with me, with a mere flick of his eyebrow, he can cause great harm to me. And it is true, all of it is true. So what I am doing right now is I am treading once more where angels fear to tread. There's this saying, fools tread where angels fear to tread. That's exactly who I am. I am that fool. Let me elaborate on the situation today for those of you who are interested. Last week Monday, so on Thursday 28th of April, my protection, my interim protection from arrest ran out. Okay, it was going to run out. The Sessions Court had, in its wisdom or in its capriciousness or in its great foresight or lack of foresight, in its great understanding or lack of understanding, whatever, the Sessions Court had passed an order saying that prima facie, myself and Rajendra Singh, were not entitled to interim bail, anticipatory bail, protection from being arrested due to that FIR that Runwal has filed against us. We had to appeal that by 28th, because 28th was the last date when our protection ran out. That order, which was passed on 19th, was not uploaded until several days later. It got uploaded, I think, on 22nd or 23rd or thereabouts. We waited for the order to get uploaded so that we could appeal to High Court. And then we appeared before High Court and we appealed. The first time we appeared was on, I think, Tuesday. Monday we had done all the filing that anticipatory bail application to High Court. It's not exactly an appeal, it's sort of like a straight out anticipatory bail application to High Court, where you may of course assail the judge's reasoning, but it is an anticipatory bail application, not an appeal against the Sessions Court's order. Not exactly, partly. So for myself, I appeared in person, and for Rajendra Singh, my friend Advocate Sushant Walimbe appeared, and we asked for a date. Basically what we were doing is asking for what is called urgent circulation. Otherwise it will come up at its own sweet time on the cause list and the judge will not hear it, and 28th April this thing would have lapsed, our protection would have lapsed, and then the police would be free to arrest us and so on, and then we would have to be released on bail, and that would have a whole set of issues on its own, because we are approaching court vacations. The courts will close on the 9th, the vacations will begin on the 9th, after which the courts will have very little bandwidth to hear matters. So we repeatedly appeared before Justice Anuja Prabhudesai of Bombay High Court, single person bench, who hears anticipatory bail matters. We appeared on Tuesday. She said it will come up tomorrow. It didn't come up the next day. Again we appeared on Wednesday, and on Wednesday, finally Wednesday afternoon, she gave us a date. She said, okay, tomorrow. Before that, we had appeared 2-3 times. Okay. And I understood that it is so easy to be not heard. It is so easy because she hears mentions and then suddenly she will say, okay, no, enough mentions, I am starting the board. So which means you have to be sort of very quick on your feet, you have to mention immediately, you have to be kind of aggressive, you have to be pushy. You have to be a very pushy lawyer or a very pushy litigant or defendant like me to stand there and very quickly mention it. And very quickly and convincingly convince her that please listen to this. It's important. We managed to do that. I managed to do it, and the advocate followed suit. The person who was appearing, Advocate Chaitanya Kulkarni. We managed to put this thing across, and she said, okay, we will be hearing you. We will be hearing you tomorrow. So next day we were heard. The hearing continued for a long time. She passed an anticipatory bail order in our favor on Thursday 28th, the same day as our protection ran out. She passed an anticipatory bail order in our favor. And while the order was being dictated, and protection was being given till June 20th, by when the vacations will be over. While this order was being dictated, she said, you have to appear for 2 days. I think it was Monday and Tuesday, she said. The police seems to think it is Monday and Thursday. Be that as it may, I appeared on Monday, I appeared on Tuesday at the police station. Now, the problem that arises is that order which was passed has not yet been uploaded. A full 7 days after the order was passed. 7 days have passed. That order was passed. That anticipatory bail order has not been uploaded. Now, interestingly, 2 or 3 two hearings before me was the hearing of Kirit Somaiya. He is a BJP MLA, and he was being heard also for some anticipatory bail matter, where he was seeking anticipatory bail. His order got uploaded very soon afterwards. I think same day or next day, not same day, maybe next day. Our order has not yet been uploaded. 1 week has passed. I'm following up. The lawyers, it seems, are also following up. I got friends who are following up in court, and they keep reassuring me. They say, no, don't worry, there is no foul play afoot, and so on and so forth. I sure hope so. Because in the meanwhile, the investigating officer at Sion police station is making very uncomfortable noises. Is making very scary noises, threatening noises. Okay, he's being very threatening, he's being very scary. So while we say that yes, the order has come in our favor, he's like, where is the order? Now, makes me wonder, I'm an ordinary man, a common man. Runwal is this huge corporate. It is no secret that courts get manipulated, cause lists get manipulated. It is not a secret. It is no secret also that sometimes orders change. What is spoken in court is not exactly what is written in the order. Happens. Very minor changes, small changes, tweaks. The tweak gives enough wiggle room to the other side to really harass you, to screw your happiness. It gives wiggle room to the police to harass you, to lock you up. There's a bunch of stuff they can do. So, these little things. Now, do I worry? Yeah, as a common man, I worry. I'm a common man. I worry. My friends, the lawyers, say, no, don't worry, Krish. I sure hope they are right. I sure hope this is just a bureaucratic glitch. They keep telling me, the order has not been uploaded because the judge has not signed the order yet. I went and saw that the judge had not signed that order. Makes me worry. Why? Kirit Somaiya's order was signed and uploaded. Why is my order not signed and uploaded? Who else is there whose orders are not signed and uploaded? Who else is in this very uncomfortable situation as I am? It's uncomfortable. And in this I'm just sharing my discomfort, and ठीक है, whatever it is, we gotta face it, we gotta fight it, we will face it, we will fight it, whatever it is. And if it cannot be fought, it cannot be faced, well, we shall suffer it then. If we must suffer, then we must suffer. We will suffer. We will suffer it. Suffering is like this. If you get arrested, then seeking bail becomes part of the same process. It's a punishing process. It goes on and on and on. And judges don't give you a date, and you mention it, and they don't hear it, or you want to mention it. Your lawyers will try to mention it, and they don't hear it. And you don't have the luxury of appearing at every mentioning. You don't have the luxury of representing yourself in person because you're in jail, you're in judicial custody, or you're in police custody. So things can happen in the cracks, and moreover, things can happen in the court vacations. Court vacations are particularly bad times to be behind bars. It's a particularly bad time, because if you are behind bars, well, the court is going to take its own merry sweet will. It's going to be a long time before you get your liberty. You're going to spend a long hot summer behind bars. I don't look forward to that prospect. I have at some level resigned myself to the prospect of untoward things happening. Let me be very clear. We are being framed. That's plain and simple. Okay. Corporates have huge underhand capabilities. Corporates have the capability to manipulate courts, judges, magistrates. The mechanism, even if not the judges, clerks can get paid to make papers go missing or not bring them up, and so on and so forth. Things can happen. Lots of things can happen if you have right people in the right place doing monkey business with money. This is what it is. I'm just sharing this with you. I'm Krish, the Urban Naxal. Jai Hind, Jai Maharashtra, Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan.